again, my name is Marco Carrer, project lead for Kura. So a brief update of what the project is about, where's the status, and where we're going next. So it's kind of a dense picture, but it's kind of like trying to fit what Kura is and all the components that it has. Certainly open for more questions after if you want more clarification. But at its foundation, Kura is a Java and OSGI-based framework for IoT gateways. So the ability to actually provide embedded applications coded in Java with modularity OSGI on IoT gateways operating on the field. So possibly gateways that interface to industrial machines, transportation vehicles, vending machines, and things of that sort. It's more meant to be horizontal, just as Kai was said, not vertical for a specific application, but it provides the building blocks to accelerate and abstract some of the complexity of the hardware and some of the fragmentation that you generally deal with when you're deploying these type of systems. So at the basic level, it provides a nice packaging and porting infrastructure that gives you Java-level APIs to abstract some of the more esoteric hardware features, like being serial port, Bluetooth, USB, or GPIO type of interfaces. And then on top of that, provides a set of building blocks that are very common when you deploy IoT applications on gateways. So an embedded database service, watchdog, block synchronizations, and the whole communication and network stack. So the management of your network interfaces, especially in the concept of cellular modems, the retry of the connections, the pings, and the managing of the PPPs even. And then connectivity towards remote servers, so with a particular emphasis on IoT-related protocols like MQTT. So the buffering of the data and the managing of your MQTT connections towards the server. On top of that, data stacks on the left side over there, you see remote management. So on the same vertical stack, we provide abilities to perform remote configuration updates and remote application updates, all on the same protocol and the same infrastructure. We also provide some field protocols like Modbus and CAN bus, and we will see later we are actually starting collaborations, especially with the EclipseCon project, in expanding on that set of field protocols. So how did we come to Kura? That's kind of like a short history of how we got there. Eurotech had a Java-based framework called ESF, and over the years, actually starting in June 2013, we started talking with the Eclipse Foundation and contributing that to make it available on open hardware. That was actually one of the targets, and start building a community around it, especially to address the fragmentation that IoT projects normally have. So we incubated in June 2013. Kura as a brand, as a project proposal, was accepted on December. In August, we had the first early release, the first early release. And by Java 1, we actually came out with the first 1.0 release available on the website and downloadable for the Raspberry Pi and the BeagleBone Black. We're already active on the next release, that would be Kura 1.10, scheduled for this quarter. We actually have an early access release available for this conference, and we're going to be showing it in the IoT Playground Challenge in the rest of the week. The big addition is the access to GPIO, I2C, SPI, and PWM through Java APIs, which allows you to contribute to the device I/O implementation of OpenJDK and integrate it into the Kura build to make it easier for you to interface with this type of interfaces at the Java level. We're also going to be bringing in POW 101, the service maintenance release of POW with a couple of bug fixes, especially in the connection management. We started integration with Eclipse OSGI Concierge. We actually have Kura running on Concierge at this point. Thanks a lot to the Concierge help that we got. And we're going to be basically having two distributions for Kura 1.10, one on Equinox and one on Concierge, and then you can kind of choose which one you would like to have. There is a new upgrade procedure, some advancement on the firewall configuration and the mode configuration. I spent quite a time out in augmenting the documentation and started providing some end-to-end tutorials to see how you can actually use the product. On Eurotech gateways, we are going to be installing Kura 1.10 by default by this quarter. So that's going to be a big milestone for us, actually maturing the open source technology into production products. There is a nice roadmap of collaborations going forward, so starting next year. So collaboration on field protocols. We're very interested in lightweight end-to-end, either over MQTT or over co-op or both. We started some conversations around that. Our Kura web administration UI is currently built on a technology that has a work with dependency on Eclipse, so we're also migrating, or at least planning to migrate it to a more Eclipse-friendly license, for example, on padding or web technologies like Angular. We're still debating what to do there. We're interested for contribution on Zigbee and Bluetooth 4, and if not, we're going to be trying to pick them up and see what we can do in that space. On growing the Kura community, we're going to be revamping the website. We collected a lot of material since Java 1 and this conference in terms of tutorials, APIs, and implementation. We also had some showcase of solutions of customers that have used that or other people that have adopted. So we're going to be trying to create a little bit of a space on the website to actually highlight some of these technologies.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So when do you expect Kura 2.x to ship?
We don't have a precise roadmap yet. So these are some of the things that we're looking into. We'll probably start having a better idea by the end of the year.
But do you have a sense of you're going to try to do one release a year or one release a quarter?
So generally we try to do 2 major releases per year and then update the release per quarter.
Okay.
Maybe one cut on 2x could be around EclipseCon North America. So we'll try to line it up with events like those.
Yeah. That's one thing that I think we should try and kind of figure out is what's kind of the release cycle for the projects, and do we want to actually try and sync up releases? Especially if we get
if we start having collaborations, that would be probably necessary.
Well, yeah, if smartphone starts using Kura, for instance, right, syncing up on releases is going to start becoming.
We actually just had a similar conversation with Anne on how, because we did want to have 101 because of some bug fixes on Kura 110, so we already started some of these debates.
Right. Okay. Sorry. So for Zigbee and Loop, you're looking for contributions, or you're going to?
We're looking for contributions. Yeah. All right. On collaboration opportunities, we already started conversation with the EclipseCon guys in terms of field protocols. We may be using actually part of this afternoon to try to actually get into the code level just to see how that would take shape. We did a prototype of integration with Interactive for high-level tools that was already in the spring. It's probably time to restart the conversation there and take it to the next level. Started some conversation on Eclipse Mission with Julianne and Simon from Zebra on lightweight M2M adoption into Kura. I think there are a lot of good things that can happen out of that. And we certainly had partnership with EclipseBird in the past on trying to actually show how some of the telemetry data that we collected from Kura can be used for analytics. Key challenges for us is actually widen the community, getting external contributors, getting more traction. We're using all these events to try to get some of these. We're trying to organize bigger tutorials, but I think that's one thing we need to focus on. In terms of some stats, started collecting what I could find. So commit activity, we have around 7 or 8 committers at this point on Kura. We are also hosting on GitHub, so it's easy to go out and fork it. We had a couple of forks so far, but we're certainly looking for many more. Bugs, it's low number at this point, but as soon as we are going to be rolling it out into our production units, we're going to be switching our internal tools to the generic BugDB repository in Eclipse, so we're going to be seeing these numbers growing. We certainly had a decent number of downloads so far. We actually had 2 downloads. One is from the Eclipse website and one is from a Eurotech hosted website because of the worksuite dependency, so we kind of had to combine stats. We enabled stats recently, but so far we had around 150 downloads from the Eclipse website, and I started tracking them on our website since last weekend. That's it for me. Any questions?
Sure. Seriously, your thoughts about device management of MQTT? I mean, that's not been formalized, or there's no real design for that.
Yes. So, as you know, we somewhat came up with our own scheme. We took inspiration from protocols like OMADM and like the M2M to actually design it and model it. But we came up with our own topic namespace over MQTT on how that is done. It's all publicly available. It's part of the Kura documentation here. I think this serves its purpose as it is now and is working well. What we are actually discussing with Julian from Sierra and Zebra guys is see if we can actually layer the lightweight WAN protocol over MQTT. And the work that we have done so far seems to be a great match because we use the same kind of action verbs and same kind of topic structure. So it should be possible to do it that way. So that's one of the interesting areas that we're going to be looking at this quarter, I think.
Are those planned, or is that work documented on the wiki or?
Yeah, actually, I think I shared that with you and Dave Locke some time back, but we can certainly meet again and then we can show you what we have done.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a really interesting area for collaboration within you guys working with the NQT community, extending it out to lightweight. That would be really interesting to kind of see who we could get involved in that.
Yeah, I think we have a good foundations, and then if we put that standards protocol on top, it's a good story.
So on Zigbee, I've heard a number of people saying we really need a Zigbee kind of support and Bluetooth too. Like, does anyone in the room have any ideas of where we could get kind of contributors around Zigbee and Bluetooth?
I was last year in contact with a guy who runs the Zigbee for OSGI open source project.
Right.
He's from Italy, and he's also working at the moment at the OSGI Alliance, working on the Zigbee's OSGI specification there. And the idea was to have his project being a reference implementation for that.
Okay.
And I was in contact with him and discussing whether the foundation could be a good place for such reference implementation. Didn't get much update over this year on that. So she's definitely someone where we could reach out and see to get that on board.
We also have one contact, but I think us contacting them is one thing. If the Eclipse Foundation contacts them, I think we would get a different response. So maybe we can pass through the contact teams, and then maybe you guys can contact them directly and see.
Yeah, so I'm between Benjamin and I would be happy. Like, if you want to introduce us, like, we can definitely, or maybe we go just directly to the Zigbee Alliance and just kind of see if they have any. Maybe we just go to GitHub actually and see if there's one out there. So, anyone else have any suggestion? Did you have a suggestion?
Actually, we are using Zigbee for CN in our project. In the point of project, we are already using Zigbee for CN. Thing is, we have some trouble with some devices, and we are in contact with the team because of this problem, and there is a problem with the configuration. Because Zigbee is all that not standard, so you have something and you try to run it with some device, you will get something completely different.
It's not a open project.
No, and they say to us that they have also this kind of problems, and we're trying to help them with some configuration files.
Okay, so.
Just if we think about specific contributions for Zigbee or just general anything. The guys who wrote the PSN, the specification in those places were using it over Zigbee.
Okay.
So they did it quite a bit at the lower layer. So with XP, so the highest level, you just get a serial interface, but they would program at the lowest actual Zigbee interface. I'm not sure whether I got code in the contributions department, but certainly TTSN has been shown to be working with the Zigbee.
Any other protocols that we need to be targeting? Like Bluetooth is yeah. Anyone have come across UPnP? Universal Plug and Play? UPnP.
Yeah. So we're actually using it and have a box with dependency in EclipseCon.
Okay.
And we actually did a couple of months ago our investigation on what open source Java implementations are out there. And we actually then forked our clean library and created the JPNP project on GitHub.
Okay.
And this is something that we're now also driving and well, that's making that nicely usable within an OSGI container.
Okay.
And having that as a very, very good JPNP support.
So someone from the UPnP forum contacted me about trying to have support for UPnP within Eclipse IoT, so maybe you and I should talk about connecting those two.
We can bring it into Kura as well, that would be nice.
Yeah. Okay. So just in general, the kind of protocol support is let's just put that on here. It seems like kind of Kura, Smart Home is probably with Tahoe, like kind of just keeping track of what protocols we need to get supported. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.